Hello and welcome to my channel, 13 Moons Oracle. I have tried to film this reading now 3 times and something keeps happening. And this message is from Archangel Uriel and it is about our growth ascension right now. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am a high priestess of different ancient civilizations and cultures. I am an Akashic Records keeper. I do Akashic Records therapy and different sets of quantum energetics and reprogramming into your frequency. We work on body, mind, heart, and spirit over here, fully conscious-based programs so that you can slay in your 3D lifestyle as we all anchor in the 5D and you can live from a spiritual attunement rather than a physical attunement. And so all of these readings are channeled from divine beings and they are soul activators. So my soul is speaking to your soul and it is activating and correcting your DNA structure, your cellular structure. It's activating crystalline DNA and it's recoding and re-frequencying you as we go and connecting you to these higher beings of pure source love and energy. So today's message is from Archangel Uriel, and this is a card I had in my head all day, feeling the energy. So it's really great to work with oracle cards because you can get the energy signature of a being. And so some of you might be called to do that. It's really go time at this moment right now. You can see the sun behind Uriel, you can see the book. We are really being called to hone our skills and our capacities, and we are being called to really claim our divine identity. And so in that, there's been a stripping away of any relationships that were maybe we were unaware of things that were going on in the background. We were unaware of different perspectives they had of us, and we are being called to really stand strong in who we are. We are being called to not constantly allow others to put their blame of us or blame on us. Like, people's emotions and projections are their own responsibility. Their triggers are their own responsibility. And when you care about someone, you can talk it out with them, but we have to be careful not to get too attached to a story and then make that what happened and try to create a patriarchal hierarchy of blame and guilt and what is the word that I'm even looking for? A situation where you kind of have to bow down to people over just being yourself. And that's something that we're being called upon right now as well, because I had already pulled some cards when I tried to film it the first 2 times. So we're being called to restore our innocence. Remember when you were a child and you just were you? You didn't have an identity set yet. You weren't worried about what other people thought of you. If you had emotion, you were in it. You would express your joy. You would express yourself as you may. And a lot of us are already coming into that, already living that. And that's where some of these ruptures have come from, or that is coming forth for you, and you're being recalled to remember who you are. And in some of these ruptures, you're really getting responsible about things. You're getting responsible for what sides of things are yours, because it's a relationship, so it does take 2. Maybe things where you were I'm struggling to find my words, and this might be an energy that you're in right now. You're just really struggling to define these things within you. You're struggling to define what is your responsibility and what is another's responsibility. And then you're struggling to reclaim your consciousness, your confidence. Consciousness, weird. That I don't believe in slips, so that must mean something to somebody. But you're struggling to regain your confidence because whilst you love people, you cannot bow down to what they said if you didn't mean to do that. You were just being you. And so if that is going on for you, as it is in many different ways in the collective right now, you might have had misunderstandings. There might even have been public services involved in that. There's just a lot of dismantling of the hierarchy of wounded feminine right now and the false matrix feminine hierarchy structures. And so you might be going through varying degrees of challenges within that. So challenges with different groups of women, challenges within your own friend groups, people that you thought were your friends, really not understanding you. And just one of my favorite sayings right now from X-Men is, just because someone stumbles doesn't mean they're lost forever. So remember that right now we are all swimming through extremely heavy energies in this shed. And so just have compassion and peace for people to just remember that we're all going through something. And whilst you can move away from something that does not align and match your frequency, because we're not taking the blame for things that we didn't do, if you know that you're a good person, you didn't do things maliciously, you're not taking the blame for those kinds of situations. So we're no longer people pleasing. We're no longer showing up with fake niceties. So there is a difference between kindness. And the way I define it is, I will pick you up at midnight, I will bail you to jail depending on what you did, divine justice. I will come help you through anything. I will be there late at night if someone has passed or you're going through a grieving moment. I will help you change anything you want in your body, in your mind, in your physical structure, in your spiritual structure. I will be the listening ear, the shoulder you can cry on. Yet, I will not just say things just to smooth things over. I will not just agree to things that are out of alignment with me. I will not just agree to be nice just to keep the peace in a situation where resentment is growing and building, or revenge maybe. So that may be a message for somebody as well, because there is a difference between being nice, and which is a form of fakeness and disempowerment in some cases. And then there is a difference between being genuinely kind and knowing the difference. And that's what you're going through right now. You're really defining the structures and the limits of who you are. And you're really focused on service. You're focused on your purpose. And we are meant to be. See the horse in this picture as we move into the fire horse year. Unicorn, Pegasus energy is very, very strong right now. And they're coming to help us as well. These are the divine helpers. And we want to reach out for these helpers because these energies are there to help teach us something, and they can help be our guides. And some of us feel very comfortable with animals. And so this is why a lot of animal spirits are showing up for us. And we can learn so much from their purity, their love, their surrender. Now, the focus on service, we also are being called to receive. A lot of light workers really have it down to give, and they know how to give, and they know how to focus on service, but they don't know how to receive. And you cannot help others from an empty cup. If you cannot afford your daily resources and your bills, and you're constantly struggling for money, or you're constantly in fright or flight, your nervous system is going to be unregulated. And we are being called to regulate our nervous systems and to believe in ourselves. And as you may resonate with Divine Feminine, and that's what this reading is for right now, you are really being called to, well, we all have Divine Feminine aspects in us. So we are being called to nurture the multifaceted layers of ourselves. Okay, and many men who are divine masculines and resonate in that frequency, they are also going to be called to this. But because we have stabilized so much in this evolutionary consciousness-based process of enlightenment, they are now being stabilized enough to grow into their first stages of awakening and healing. And so they're just at a different stage than us, but there will be layers of this that are always overlapping and touching. Now, as you really focus on energy signatures, I feel like that's very important in this reading because I talked about it at the very beginning. You want to really notice how easily you're able to give, and then notice when you're being resistant to receiving, and then ask if you're contracted or expanded, and then ask to expand. Also, it's very helpful right now. I notice all day when Uriel's energy is working with me, it was a rewiring process. So if I had something negative that popped into my brain saying I couldn't do something, I was literally corrected and taught to rewire it immediately. Like this, there is no doubt that this can happen for me. There is no doubt that I can do this. And just immediately rewire it. And then find a few positive reasons to be grateful, of proof of how and why this is going to work out for you, or this is the opposite of that negativity. And so that's going to be really important for somebody as well. Uriel comes with a beautiful, gentle, corrective energy. And you see the sun in this card. So blessings are coming to us. Blessings are trying to arrive, but we're blocking them by these limiting consciousness factors that we have within ourselves. We are meant to reclaim our power, but we have been humbled by disempowering matrix system. And so that is also being returned to us as we find the joy of living who we are and being proud of the hard work that we have. And I'm not talking about a cocky, ego-based pride. I am talking about a pride that is grounded in divinity, where you can celebrate yourself and you can celebrate the hard work that you've done and all of the dedication and efforts that you've put into things and how far you've come, because that is another thing that we can all struggle with, is just going out so fast into the next thing, into the next thing, into the next thing, and not actually celebrating how far we just jumped, or how far we just came, or the wins we just had. You know, we're like on to the next, and sometimes that's a seeking of perfection. And so that might also just need to be released or corrected, and that's why Uriel is with you. I'm talking to a lot of different entrepreneurs, or there's the entrepreneur spirit here. And so you are being called to have your own business, even as a side hustle, but we are path forgers. We are being called to make our own way. The way, if you're struggling right now to find the way still, and it's been a while, you're supposed to make the way. You are supposed to make the way. Now, we need to have a grounded approach to building structures that are going to be effective. We want to have our masculine and our feminine in balance. And so you really want to look at business structures and apply them. And you can still make them work for you. You can still move them into a spiritual practice, or you can sell, for instance, from your divine feminine nature, from your heart, from your feelings, from integrity, from authenticity, as opposed to a patriarchal matrix system, unless that works for you. Whatever works for you, that's fine. But I'm just saying you can adapt it, but you still need to look at all of it. And you still need to understand what is effective and working in the system, because we need to know the rules of the system so that we can override them and rewrite them into the 5D evolutionary process that's going on. And so Uriel will help you with this. And whenever we're struggling or stuck, we can actually say, Uriel, whatever divine being you want to work with, Uriel, who loves me unconditionally, through creator of all that is, I connect to your highest vibrational frequency, and I ask for you to mentor me in this. Please show me the gaps that I need to create a successful business. Please show me where I've been stumbling, or where I am not able to see my blind spots, so that I can actually get the outcome that I have been trying to manifest. Those are prayers you can say. Those are different ways you can say things. Energy work's really important here, working with healers, working with other intuitives to mirror your intuition, especially when you're feeling lost and confused, or when the energy gets really heavy. But then also just knowing that you came down with spiritual tech and spiritual connection, so also you can just ask the ascended masters. Okay, so if resources are a thing for you, mentor with the ascended masters, with your angels, with your guardian angels, with your guides. Remember to ask them, and remember to let it in. This card says, life can be electrifying because of its very essence is energy. Your body is a remarkable energy field that will positively respond to loving treatments. Your hands and hearts are activated to give healing energy to loved ones and clients. So you have a lot to offer this world. I know there's a lot of conscious divine feminines out there that do not like the patriarchal structure. They do not like the monetary structure. But remember, money is an energy. It is a neutral frequency that we can take and adapt to what we want. And Creator would like us to be able to hold a lot of resources right now. There is an energetic wealth transfer. If you've seen some of my other readings, my videos, I've been talking about this for a while. There's an energetic wealth transfer going on right now. Narcissism is being stripped down. I used to always say in all my readings for decades now that it's a parasite in the web. And it is being stripped down, as are these hierarchies that were enslaving us, both as humans defined male and humans defined female. And so these hierarchies are being stripped down as well. And we need more light workers to come to the surface and to rise and to be confident and to choose their path and stand really solidly in their preferences, in their being, in their personality, even if it doesn't resonate with everyone. By being in that authentic point, you're going to be like a lighthouse to the people that you are meant for. And we are all, especially networks of women, the way sisterhood works, we are mentoring the ones below us, behind us, or even side to side or ahead of us, depending right now on the frequencies and expertise that we've cultivated through our living experience. And so leadership doesn't have an age, it doesn't have a specific way of being. It's literally what you resonate to, and people are meant to choose by their frequency. And it doesn't make other people who don't align to your frequency wrong, it just makes them not for you, right? And we're supposed to choose from that as well. There's nothing to worry about. Everything is going great. Everything is going to plan. I see a lot of you worrying, and I see a lot of you really ahead of this. I see a lot of you that I'm just mirroring this. I am mirroring something that you're already going through, that you are literally, you have been working really hard on your business. You have been working really hard on your blind spots. You have been working really hard on the gaps and balancing that masculine and feminine energy and balancing your nervous system and up-leveling your confidence and living from your divine identity without ego, cockiness, but from actual divine pride and being, it's okay to be proud of your accomplishments, your hard work. It's okay to celebrate yourself. It's okay to celebrate your achievements, because that gives others permission to do those achievements as well. It gives others permission and also a map to show them that it's okay to meet your shadows. It's okay to meet your triggers. It's okay to work on those things and see your weaknesses and then turn them to strengths. So you're doing that in the embodiment of your frequency, but you're also worried. You're also worried right now of like, will it happen? Will the past repeat itself? The ones that I'm talking to that have gotten this far, you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. You've been through a really dark path. You've been through really heavy things. If you're an old soul, such as me, we front-loaded our karma into our childhood, and because the Akashic records have opened and a bunch of dark timelines, corrupted timelines have repaired, it's been really heavy right now, because not only are you processing stuff from your childhood that you went through on this life, you are processing deep-seated traumas specifically to do with the depravity of humanity right now, because we need to forgive it, to love humanity again, to correct it. And as we correct these things inside ourselves by anchoring in the Holy Spirit, by anchoring in forgiveness, then all of a sudden we start repairing the whole web. We start preparing the whole collective throughout that frequency, because it repairs all the way down the line. And what does the Course in Miracles say? The one who is the most sane, so the one who is the most grounded in love, will save their brother and sister, because it just spreads. It's like wildfire. We're all connected through the womb and the heart. So see, my throat's doing something there. So there's a throat chakra activation that's going on too, that you're moving out of people trying to silence you. Those sheddings that I talked about, those relationship ruptures, they might be really painful. So keep surrendering any grief, any sadness into Creator, and ask what you can learn from that situation without feeling like you have to change your whole personality because somebody had a feeling about it. There has to come a point where you're like, this is me, this is who I am. I know that I never intentionally hurt somebody. I know I wasn't intentionally malicious. But if you were, then you got to check that. I was intentionally malicious here. I was gossiping here. These are old patterns that I'm still stuck in. Angels, please help me with that. Holy Spirit, please come and purify this pattern in me. Why am I still doing this? Where am I criticizing myself that I would want to criticize others? Where are others showing up in a way that's triggering me, that's calling for me to show up in that same way? So you do want to look at those things if you are doing them, but if you know you're not doing them and someone is saying you're doing them, then that's most likely a projection on their side. But you don't need to stand and fight with them. You don't need to go back and forth. You did this, you did that. Like, you don't need to do that. You can just hold space for them to see where they need to meet their own shadows and reclaim their own inner self-worth. And you just be who you are. And you continuously do that, and that's recovering your innocence. The innocence to be who you are without hurting anybody, to be the purest version of yourself through pure unconditional source light and love. And it does not matter what you have done in this life or any other life. If you witness a past life, because a lot of you are going to awaken to your Akashic records, you've been getting readings. If you witness a past life that is something your mind would define as bad, we'll say, because nothing is actually bad, repent to Creator, to your angels, to your guides, to the universe, to say like, oh, I really didn't like that I did that. I hope I never do that again. I'm genuinely sorry. Done, gone, finished, eradicated from your field, balanced, healed. Right? And if it still is lingering, that's because there's something going on in the mind, a mental thought pattern that is believing in punishment and guilt and shame. And that is the next thing that you need to touch on that. We're meant to return to joy. And you see that dolphin that she's riding? So dolphins and angels. So I'm talking to earth angels here. They're really feeling the field right now. And I'm also talking to some beings that are just really connected to the ocean, really connected to Lemuria. And so really getting outside right now, or even just listening to whale frequency, dolphin frequencies, different hertz frequencies, having those on at all times. I usually do as well. But for YouTube, I don't want it to get flagged. Copywriting other people, so I don't have any on right now, but really just connecting with other beings that are of pure source, unconditional love and light. And by you daily connecting with pure source, unconditional love and light, and going up to that seventh plane and just really soaking in those energies and satiating yourself and like saying what you need. Oh, today I'm having a pocket of loneliness, or today I'm feeling really angry. I don't want to express myself through anger and defensiveness anymore. I don't want to be bitter, even though I've been through all these things. Those are prayers that you can say, and you can go up to seventh plane energy and ask for that to be alchemized for you, because seventh plane energy is the components of cellular frequency that can merge into anything, and then we direct it. This mind is the steering wheel, the visualizer, the direction. That's why we're here. We're bridging spirit to the physical. And so that's another piece of that. We're also walking through many, many gateways. I know that I consecrate homes. And I make sure that they are just set within different grid points and different grid frequencies that we built in Atlantis and Lemuria, and you anchor them down to the ley lines, and it keeps your house consecrated, because there's a lot of evil and there's a lot of contamination and disruption going on right now. So it's really important to have a consecrated home. So really think about blessing your home. Yes, you can sage it. Yes, you can San Paulo it, but actually set up frequency grids. And if you don't know how to do it, call in the dragons, call in the angels to do that for you. This is a divine matrix. Okay, and so see, there's a grid right there. You can put a flower of life grid around your home and then program it with whatever you like. Like, this home only allows unconditional love to come into this frequency, and I'm completely protected from anything that is not of unconditional love. And you can set it to have portals that take home any beings that are stuck or trapped on the planet, ghosts and things like that, if you don't want to be dealing with them. And that's one of your skills that you constantly call in that energy, because they want to go home and they can feel your frequency. Okay, and then the divine matrix, this is that 7th plane of energy also. God incidences, they say. So synchronicity, interconnectedness, just really knowing your oneness with all of life and going up to that 7th plane and sitting with creator of all that is. Ask the angels to take you. Uriel will take you. Uriel will show you what that energy signature is if you don't know. Because then you can really suss out when evil is hosting in a body, and you can try to save the soul of the host that evil is in. That's also another thing I truly believe is part of our mission right now. Not for everyone. We all have different ways and different missions, but some of you will resonate to that. Crystal skull wisdom, clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. So some of you might be called to, or already have, collections of crystal skulls because you're crystal skull keepers. Different crystals, even if they're not shaped as skulls, were literally programmed and programmed by us in other lives, and our highest versions of our highest selves that had trained to a high spiritual capacity in those lives are projecting out from their past, which we are their future, into us right now and helping us right now, just as we are being helped by our future selves even further into the future. So connect to that wisdom, connect to the points of energetic contact that you have already made in many, many other lives of training for these times. We came with so many resources, but we just forget to ask for it, or we've been brainwashed not to ask for it. But the consciousness and collective that's going to find my readings, they're going to be more advanced. And so they're already going to be doing some of this, but these are the things that you would want to clean up. Now, also understand that Uriel's here with us right now too, to help to teach us through any challenges that we're going through. And this is why a constant process of prayer and surrendering back to divinity and calling back our power and proper rooting, which I teach from soul star to earth star, is very, very, very important. Having a sovereign field right now, because if we are under attack and heavy thought forms come in, because that's the mind is where they're attacking us the most right now, trying to get us stuck in different labyrinths, Uriel will correct it, but we have to have our field right. And so eating properly, just to create a nice frequency of cleanliness through the body, praying over your food, drinking lots of water, all of that's really, really, really important for you right now. Okay. Yeah, so crystal skull wisdom, that's a portal gateway of going into your other lives as well. That is talking about really, really opening up to the wisdom that you honed in those lives, and really opening yourself up to the wisdom inside yourself. You know, I've talked to many different clients this week, and so I keep saying, you know, bring in your quantum energetics, bring in your tools, read the energy. And some tell me I don't even know where to start. It's like you're already doing it all the time. You don't need to overthink it. The mind overthinks it because the mind is limited, and we just got to let that go. And how we let that go is we say, I'm surrendering my mental thinking to my higher self, to my soul, so that I can remember that I already understand this. And then you read the frequencies around you. How are you feeling? What does that energy signature feel like? Does that person make you feel off? Let go of the niceties and the fake niceness, and still be kind. You don't need to fight with people. You don't even need to say something, but if that frequency is out of alignment, trust that and then move away. That's reading energy. And then use the cards, like I said, use oracles, use different tools so that you can really get the energy signature of a being that is working with you, and you'll feel them helping you throughout the day. And this will also help to combat if you are feeling alone, because a lot of priestesses on the spiritual path right now, and priests, they're feeling very alone because they're in spiritual isolation. Although in the year of the fire horse, that is ending for us, but it also depends on how we claim these energies that I talked about. Because if we are over-focused on giving and we cannot receive, then we're going to be stuck. And if we cannot allow our being to come out, our true divine identity that's trying to come through us, and reclaim our innocence and allow ourselves to be ourselves, without intentionally harming anybody, and then course correcting as we go, as we get feedback from our environment to a point, right? Because some of us are so disempowered that we allow too much feedback in from our environment, and then we just think we're a mess and something's wrong with us. And sometimes it's not you, it's the environment that you are in, and you were meant to trigger people back into their own awakening and their own frequency. So your frequency was right, but their frequency couldn't handle it, or the truth that you called out from them, and then it kind of makes a little hush-hush mess. But you need to be able to stand, I sound very bossy, but this is the best energy that will get you through. So it's always an invitation, even if I say you need or you should. And just know it's always an invitation. You take this through your own intuitive filters and you decide what you want to do. But the best way through this is to stay really sovereign in your field. Know you do not walk alone. Know that you walk with all of your archangels. You walk with all of your guardian angels. You have ascended master teachers that are ready to help you. And if you're here resonating on this path and you found this channel, they're already there as part of your guides. I'm sure you have sacred statues and things already in your home, or you're into yoga, or you're into healing touch, or you're into some sort of frequency energy work already. And that means you're being mentored by an ascended master, at least one. We always have many, and you can take it even deeper. And it's just the most magical, beautiful process. My life I'm just forever grateful for these connections, for trusting it. But it was really hard to trust it at first. But again, I'm not talking to beginners here. I am talking to at least intermediates, if not advanced souls. That is who finds my channel, because your vibe attracts your tribe. Now, advanced souls, they've been being really attacked right now. And so it is really hard if you don't have that divine connection, because trust me, we all just want some grace and ease. We want to fit in. We want to chill out. Like, does it have to be so hard since we were little kids? Like, I understand, I can feel that in the frequency, but really understand as well that you're here for a purpose. And if you weren't strong enough to do this, you wouldn't have been put here. And so really believing in that, really choosing yourself, really choosing to believe in yourself, and holding space that if you do this, you bless situations. The ones that are meant to come back, those relationships will just repair themselves, and they will come back and they will circle back. Okay, just keep trusting that. Okay, let's look at some moon energy. Actually, we'll do the moon energy in a second. But Leo, Aquarius, and Libra might be important to you right now, and those seasons might just be really important to you right now, or the next moons that the next time those moons hit. We're going into a new moon on Tuesday, which is also Chinese Lunar New Year, and Ramadan starts. And those are so very significant in the lunar calendar, and very significant in the calendar of Creator and nature. So a few more angel messages. Inner child healing, transformation, and take a step back. Take a step back to see the bigger picture. Don't just take the blame and think something's wrong with you. Oh, I always have these challenges. I always have these problems. You have always had these problems. You've been misunderstood for a long time because you're a path forger. You're a disruptor. You were meant to come here to disrupt some things, and you were not meant to fit in. But some of you might be coming out of a really long period where you were kind of over siphoned, so you're drained, or you were duped. And you had chosen to think, oh my goodness, my life would be easier if I fit in. And so you started trying to conform to what these people had told you. But meanwhile, most of these were projections. Our society and the overculture, the majority of it is very sick right now. That being said, there's also a lot of light workers and people on this planet who've done a lot of work. So don't run around thinking that everyone is sick. There is a majority that's sick. And again, that's going to come back to energy signatures. You will be able to feel it in your gut. And if you're not sure, ask. Whatever angel you're working with, like Uriel's here today, this is who's giving you this message, so he will help you. Or sometimes he shows up as a female. They have both, so whatever shows up for you. But always make sure that they're a divine being of unconditional love and light. Will never ask you to hurt yourself or another. And then you ask them to guide you in that moment, like, what am I seeing here? What am I missing here? You ask throughout your day, and you integrate spiritual practice all throughout your day. Again, talking to more advanced souls, I'm sure you're already doing this, but for those of you that have come across this and you're not, it's not like I go meditate at 9 p.m. Like, it is literally something you integrate into your being all day long. Working with Creator, working with divine beings, bringing divinity into the moment, because that is also part of your purpose. And that doesn't mean you have to be working in spiritual capacities and channels of work. If those aren't working for you, if you've been trying to work in spiritual capacities of work and you're not making economics or good income, chances are you might not not be where Creator wants you to bring your light. And so ask, where would I best be served with my light? I have multiple projects going on. I always go where Creator brings me to the light. But as I lived more and more authentically, even the projects or commitments that showed up in the 5D creational energy, they matched my frequency so well, and they became a contentment piece for me, even though I was still supposed to go there and anchor my light, and they weren't a challenge, and they weren't a drain, and they weren't terrible. So whilst it's okay to also do spiritual work, I personally don't like mixing economics with spiritual work. It's very hard for me, but although I know there is a way, and I'm learning to do it in a more integritous way, and that was part of a wealth wound that I have, so this might resonate with somebody else. But now I also, it's like my frequency is on autopilot, creating and shifting for me, and this might also be happening for you, but maybe you just need to let go of how you think things should be and open yourself to other possibilities and opportunities, and ask your angels and Creator, like, put your foot down. Like, I'm no longer willing to tolerate this, and this, and I'm no longer willing to tolerate this, and this in a job. Bring me to a job that fulfills me and meets me where I am in my authenticity, and that will bring out the best in me and where I'm happy. It's okay to ask for those things. Creator will still bring you there to anchor your light there, because that's also still needed. Anywhere where there is a lot of people still sleeping, the light is needed, and we are needed to be brought there. And that might be a corporate structure, and that might just be for a small season, so that you can anchor in some financial resources and some stability, and get your nervous system out of fight or flight mode, to anchor in the rest of your projects, or to moonlight your business so you can get those blind spots and those gaps that we talked about. Okay, so transformation is coming up here, and that's I just kind of talked about all of that. Like, even what I just talked about is transformation. Maybe there needs to be a transformation in your thinking and your detachment, what you're letting go of, but you're also transforming in all that we talked about today, because as you bring more energetics through, or as you read more of your Akashics, as you integrate more partnership with divinity, with your angels, with your guides, with ascended master higher beings, throughout the day, and with Creator or the universe, like whatever you want to choose, Uriel says, like, you will transform. It will change you in the very best ways. There was so many times on the spiritual path that I was called to give up things that I didn't want to give up, and now I guide people through that. And let me tell you, the resistance, it can be so hard and so real sometimes, because just because something is not necessarily hurting you, and it's not necessarily totally bad, and we tell ourselves out of ease, like, oh, it's not that bad, you know, I can just do this one little thing. Sometimes we're still called to let go of that one tiny little thing that we think isn't really a problem, because Creator has something much better on the other side of that for us. But we will still fight it because it's not really terrible. But you don't have to just let go of terrible things. Sometimes we're attuned at the very finest levels by our angels, by divinity, and we are transformed, and things seem to be taken away from us, but they are always traded up and replaced with even better. And so really recognize that, is like, am I holding on to things that, like, the universe is calling for me to let go, and I just need to trust that if I let go of these things, like, even better is going to come in, because Creator knows me even better than I know myself, and is going to deliver me something even better. But I've been holding on to this because it's been decent, and it's been nourishing me, it's been feeding me a little bit. So really ask yourself that, because that's something going on in high resistance in the field right now. The last, like, 2 or 3 months, high resistance. So many people wanting to book, talking about energy work, so they're awakening, they're coming to it, but they still don't trust it. They still won't make time for it. They still won't make time for themselves. They still don't see an investment in energy work as an investment in themselves. But energy work, when you make sure you work with the right healer, make sure they have a proven track record, that comes back to you tenfold. The returns into your lifestyle is just unbelievable. So keep that in mind as well. And inner child healing. So inner child healing, your inner child is healing right now. That's that joy we talked about. So what kind of things does your inner child want to do? You know, I really liked Disney movies when I was a kid, and honestly, I have my own adult spiritual feelings about Disney now, but those still made my inner child really happy. So when Disney had a movie sale, I did buy some movies for my inner child, and those have been wonderful. Like Tinkerbell and The Never Beast is one of the best movies ever. I don't care what anyone says, but it's just beautiful. And lots of those movies still hold spiritual truth within them. They're one of the last places Because the way that good and evil works is evil has to tell us what's going on. They have to. So the way that they've worked around this right now is they've put the truth within movies, but they've made truth kind of silly or fantastical or magical. And then, so your inner child is calling you back to some of those things, because you're also going to get talked to through the universe, through your guides, through Creator, and you're going to have something come through that also is healing you and helping you with everything we talked about today. The confidence, anchoring your divine identity. And then the other aspect of inner child healing is make an area for your inner children. Make an area deep in your heart chakra, make a temple for them of the most magical, beautiful place where they would ever get to be and play and, you know, have all the experiences that they ever wanted with kind, gentle animals, whatever it is that your inner children wanted, and make it for every child at your age, and then go back and parent them. If you're really struggling with something, we don't have time to get into that all in this reading, but like go back and see how old is the part of me that's struggling with this, and then reparent that part of you. Spend time with them, talk to them in an age appropriate way, show them your life now, let them know that you've got this and that you've got this under control, and if you don't, you'll figure it out because you have divinity, and show them all of that and show them a new way, or give them something that they needed back then. Maybe they needed stimulation at age 7. They needed an art class or something for their budding brilliance, and they didn't get that, but now you can go give it to them, and you can ask your angels to help you. Your angels will come down and stay with them and teach them and work with them. So this has been really, really powerful practice I've been working with many clients on lately, and it's just been really, really life-changing. Like if you constantly feel a sadness and a grief walking around throughout the day, an inner child needs to be worked with 100%, or you're not playing enough. That could also be it. Okay, so let's just see. Yeah, you're really coming out of a hard time, but you're actually coming out of it now. This is the fire horse energy we've all been waiting for right now. Page of Swords, like you're look at how clear she's really clear, and her sword is up, but it's not up in defense. It's up like the sword of truth. It's calling in energy. It's calling in help, and it's a sign of clarity. It's a sign of her sovereignty, right? And this can be also incoming communication. So maybe some of those ruptures you had, you're going to get some clarity in them. You're going to get some communication that really makes sense. And the 10 of Cups. So there's all these blessings on their way to you, but they're just a bit delayed because this was upside down. So it's just a bit delayed. There's secrets that are going to come forth. There's intuitive expressions, and there's intuitive inner knowings that are going to be selective to you that you need to realize and anchor in and come into balance in your shadow aspects of yourself, the dark parts of yourself where you might still hold shame or guilt. Or in theta healing we teach revenge, remorse, regret. Revenge, remorse, regret. Was it retribution as well? You just want to let go of all the R's. And so you can sit with Creator. Maybe you want to get a theta healing session. That's a beautiful way to deprogram the labyrinth of the mind and subconscious beliefs at a really fast level. I just love theta healing. It's very, very much connected to Atlantean and Lemurian healing. When I first started doing healing work, I had a human trust issue, so I literally just channeled from my Akashic records of my past lives how I used to heal people from other ancient civilizations, and that's what I used. And then later on, I took many different levels of healing, pranic healing. I never did the Reiki, but I did different levels of pranic. I did so many other courses, including angel therapies and different things like that. And all of them helped me recover a piece of myself. So maybe that's something you need to do. Maybe you need to explore different courses and let them pull out different pieces of yourself. But theta healing was the most in line with what I taught the most, that worked the most, but then it just filled in the gaps like... So it's a really beautiful practice. So that might be for someone too. So the energies for the moons right now I mentioned was Leo energy, Libra energy, Aquarius energy. So Aquarius energy is the energy of freedom. Leo is the energy of pride, confidence, knowing who you are, nourishing your community, your tribe, your group, finding your tribe, your group. And then Libra energy is the inner intuitive flow and grace and wisdom, and the emotional empathic capacity to master your emotions and those of others. Also, Libra energy is like using your empathic abilities to really help others, but you can also create a business from that because you can really intuit the needs and the solutions that other people need, and you can create economic exchange for that, right? And I think even reframing some of the wealth wound I talked about earlier of like mixing divinity with spiritual economic or physical economics, Like, if you're providing a service that's of value and it will genuinely help people, you are allowed an exchange within that. And right now we work in an energy structure of money. And so really allowing yourself and giving yourself permission, and see this even for me, I'm going to give myself permission to do that right now too. And that's Libra energy. Wow. And the card was keep your heart open. And you can see, like, she's standing there in the universe under the moon, and she's downloading so much frequency. And I believe that's the throat chakra around her. So you're, like I said earlier, you're going through throat chakra clearing and activation, and you're really finding the words. And do you notice the strength that came in my voice from the beginning of the reading all the way till now? So someone is really, really doing the work to clear and open that. And then you're taking that step back because you're really just going to allow yourself to rest and integrate what is being downloaded into you from your higher frequencies. And maybe all this stuff that I've already talked about is mirroring you, and you've already asked for these things, and then you're just being called to rest and allow it to integrate. Create space, go do some yoga, go out and walk, go do some workouts. If you're really busy right now with many projects because you're really feeling called to do them all, which I've been going through that, high passion, like loving so many things and so many things coming through, maybe you're going to just double some things up. Because stuff is speeding up, we also do have the quantum capacity to do that. So I have been listening to things at 2 times the speed, and just trusting that my soul is going to intake what I need from it. And then also I got a walking pad. So I have a walking pad that I will do that while I'm working, or while I'm journaling, or while I'm intuiting things. And so that's really nice to move energetics through the body at the same time. So maybe that's a message for somebody as well. And just also really trusting in your own transformation, that these things are coming through you. Like, look at the integration on that card. Look how much fire, and, like, again, the blessings, the sunlight, all of it's coming through. Keep trusting, nothing to worry about. It's all coming through. You're not going to be stuck in the past. The past is not going to repeat itself. You just got to clean up your frequency, got to clean up your energy, got to clean up your behavior in different ways, but also in, like, a very relaxed way and a very connected way, allowing divinity to do lots of that work for you. Open up to change. So remember, we talked about really allowing your manifestations to come through in ways maybe you didn't expect. Maybe letting go, like, it's okay to have detail, but we want to detach from the detail. And so, like, let's say that I'm like, oh, I want to make $150,000 a month. Let's just say that's a manifestation that I had. I also could say that, and then I could release it, but then I could also say, I want to anchor financial stability. I want to live debt-free. I want to live in a way that I can be generous like nobody else, you know? And so those are the same things in completely different detached ways. So it's good to go between both, like, have a specific goal, but you got to let go of that, or it's best to let go of that, and then also have, you know, a more, like, what is the actual outcome you're trying to have from that goal, right? I want to make that much money a month because of, I want financial peace and financial stability. I want to be able to give to my friends, family, right? So really defining those two things, but then having detachment in either or. Like, can you be happy right now in this moment as your life is? Like, cultivate joy and happiness right now, so that if nothing was to ever change, which isn't going to happen, but this is why we foster this detachment, because the faster you can get to this place, the more everything's going to manifest. But if nothing changed at all right now, can I be very happy in this moment? If this moment froze forever and I was living in Groundhog Day, could I be happy here? So make that life for yourself. Okay, and seek that happiness in every moment. Make sure it's healthy for you, of course. Make sure it's soul nourishing. Some of you need to really let go of substances, including food and drink, that is not healthy for you. And some of us still have this heavy grieving that we're clearing out of our heart. And like I said, there's past life cellular trauma repairing. And we're putting that wound in overspending, overconsumption, or just eating pizza, being ill. Some of this is manifesting in the physical body. If things are manifesting in your physical body, that is the last layer. And so if you can get it into meditation every day and ask, what do I need to see here? What challenges am I working through? And then take those challenges. I'm going to surrender these back to divinity. Higher self, show me how to get through this. Uriel, mentor me through this. Teach me what I need to learn so I can trade my pain for peace and love. If you can do those things, and really get into the energy cleanup of it, it will stop manifesting as pain in the physical body. I promise. We don't have time to go into all the things that I've been able to heal in myself and others that way. But it manifests in energy first. Remember that. Okay, and then the full moon in Leo. So Leo energy is just fiery, passion. You're going to feel yourself really called to a lot of different things right now. You're trying to find that joy. It's okay to experiment, but just try to anchor some stability. Try to anchor down some masculine and feminine, and yes, we are here to be of service, yes, we are here to heal, but we are also first responsible for ourselves. And the more grounded and stable that we are, and the more confident and nourished and in love with ourselves to care for ourselves, like the love I'm talking about for yourself is that you love yourself so much you don't want to harm your body. You love yourself so much that you want to drink the water that you need that day. You want to give yourself the nutrients you need. You want to eat the healthy things because you love yourself so much. That's kind of love I'm talking about. And that is driven from soul, not from ego. And when you're living in that state, you end up fostering this capacity to be able to give back so much to others. But another thing that's going on with this collective is you give a lot of energy. And so sometimes the energy that you're giving out is, unless people are living from that energetic capacity, if they're just living purely in the physical, they might miss what you brought to their life and what you offer them and what you, they may not be able to put it into tangible words. And so you, it would be a really good idea to presence yourself. So if you're doing healing work and stuff, connect it back to like, this is the energy flowing through you. These are some of the things that I've seen, and these are some of the results that I think is going to come in for you, or however you want to word that for your own capacity. That's just, or in your own experience, but that's just an example, is just presencing yourself and really understanding that some of these ruptures also is the universe helping teach other people what it is that you offer them and the nourishment and support that you do offer them. Okay. So then I just pulled the last little bit of angel cards is let go. So we just talked about that detachment, get more information. So there's some more information that you need going on, maybe in how you move forward next. That was a lot of moon energy coming up. So secrets are going to come to light. You're going to get some more clarity the more that you kind of rest, integrate the energy work that you're doing, and then move from divine direction, not from like I have to, not from fight or flight. Keep nourishing and calming your nervous system down. So whether that be with herbs, whether that be with breath work, whether that be with, getting outside in nature, just whatever you can do to calm your nervous system down and to create space around whatever you're building. So space, rest, action, space, rest, action, energy, movement, rest, like integrate all of that in, and play and pleasure. Okay. I'm even talking to me, talking to myself too. Okay. The answer to your question is yes. Yes, you are going to make it. Yes, you are on the right track. Yes, you are on the right path. Trust yourself. Even if it feels chaotic and like things are kind of falling apart or wishy-washy, like some of that is the wobbling as you move into a new higher timeline that you called in. Right? And so it just depends on where you are. Again, this collective reading, so you got to take what fits and what doesn't. So some stuff's not going to fit. Some stuff is because you're all at different levels going on. But like that wobble is you integrating into new timelines also. So some of it feels like it's like the past is coming back, but it's not. It's just like the out of it. It's going to it's like a spiral. It's going to circle back down, but then you're shooting up, right? And then peaceful resolution. So just know that peace is coming into your life. Peace is coming into your experience. And the more that you accept who you are, the more that you cultivate the inner light within you, the more that you allow it to shine, the more that you let go of defenses and keep your heart open and lead from love and let love guide you and protect you. And you don't fall into the false matrix of this world of defensive and fighting and the violence and the aggression and the drawing the lines in the sand. To a point, you got to pick what you pick because you're on this ray of experience being resonated to what you are meant to dismantle. So you do got to pick. I feel like it just feels better to do that, but stand strong in that. It's okay to be different than others, but we don't need to fight about it. And as earth angels and as starseed beings, we're actually being called to mitigate the violence within ourselves for that. Okay, so just know peaceful resolutions are coming for you. Your struggle, remember when I said you front-loaded your karma? Your struggle is coming to a head of peacefulness. It's not going to be like this forever. And in fact, the worst is now behind you. And you are coming into this beautiful, beautiful time. Okay, I love you. That is where I'm going to close the reading for today. If you like this reading, I would be honored if you shared it with your friends, and with anyone you think that would help. And then I also, I just love you. I pray for you every day. I'm so happy. Thank you for clicking play. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and supporting and integrating this work because I can't do it without you. And I know that spirit is helping me find the people that these were meant for. And I know that these are the types of energetics that I wish was available when I was first coming into my healing path, or even now I lean on different healers and light workers that are all awakened and have come out to support each other because we need that. we need each other's frequency. Like when I'm having a heavy day and I'm low, I can tap into another starseed light worker who's living their purpose and their frequency, and we can share energy, right? And it helps me remember who I am and my path and my purpose, and we're meant to do that. That's how we're linking hearts and hands, even if we're not in the same country or the same parts of the world right now. Okay, so I love you. Let's call upon Creator to bless us now with beautiful rays of 7th plane energy to just wash and cleanse off our being, our physical, our emotional, our mental, and our spiritual layers, and let them all be integrated and governed by the Spirit. Let us call all of our energy back now, all of our power in all directions of space and time that we've knowingly or unknowingly given away or taken. That we knowingly or unknowingly taken from others, or that has been taken. We call it all back. We call all of our energy home for strengthening, and then we let it rise up and plug into our soul star and rise down into the earth, grounding into Gaia, connecting with her in that nice, beautiful reciprocal cycle of giving and receiving to the earth in balance from the energy we output. And then she nourishes us and restores us as we share it with her. But then you're also letting your energy go down deeper and plug into your earth star chakra to make your cosmic egg become sovereign around your field. That's proper rooting. That's a quick version of proper rooting. And then you can ask dragons to come in, the Lyra Christ dragon. You can ask Uriel to come in and help you program the outer layers of your field to have different layers of whatever it is that you need. Maybe you need an empath layer where the layer of your field is reading any empathic energies that are coming through you before you take it on as your own, and helping you to read information so it becomes usable. Now, this is for some people, that it becomes usable, but you're not taking it on as if it's your own and letting it overwhelm you, and you have some sanctuary from the world. That's why we plug in from soul star to earth star. Okay. So there's many activations and meditations on this channel and my sister channel, JC Soul Gems. And I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will talk to you again very soon.